We're standing at Busbridge Church War Memorial. It was built in 1921 at the apex of a number of roads because it's in a very public place as a sign of public and community gathering. Community is everything around memorials like this, around remembering VE Day as Prarsfield School are doing this year, remembering Remembrance Day and Remembrance Sunday. Community is at the centre of it all. As community, it's about thanksgiving, about loss, about memories, about sadness, and about bringing all of that together. Now, Prarsfield School are looking at VE Day and what victory meant in Europe all those years ago. But VE Day was not the end of World War II. VE Day was the point where fighting stopped in Europe, but across much of the world it still continued, certainly for a couple of months, until we got to VJ Day. And so it was waiting for the final end. And in that waiting for the final end, in that celebration and relief, there was freedom and hope. That was the key message at Prarsfield School all those years ago in 1945. Freedom and hope. Freedom and hope were suddenly so important to people, and they had been important for 6 long, dark, silent years. And the first thing they all did as pupils was that night they got together and they had an enormous bonfire, and the first thing they sung was a hymn full of hope. Wouldn't it be great to be able to light bonfires right now to give thanks for how things are here? But of course, we don't think things are particularly good in the UK, nor across much of the world right now. And so Remembrance this year is much more about waiting in hope, in the same way as VE Day was, in a way. It was not the end, maybe there was victory coming, but it was about hoping for something coming and something better for us all. Freedom and hope were about rebuilding differently and hoping for something better. The other day I was watching a YouTuber. Now this YouTuber is really famous and he lives in Los Angeles, and he's not short of a bit of money. And he thought he'd conduct a social experiment. So he dressed himself up, not in a suit or anything. He dressed himself as someone that lives on the street, as a homeless person. And he had a can full of money, $10 notes, and he had a card. And his card said, "I want to spread some goodness. It's about freedom and hope. I want to give you $10. A rich guy was in what looked like a Lamborghini. He got out, went past the chap, the homeless man, and he rattled his tin and he offered him $10. He tried to give it to him and say, "Look, I want to spread some goodness for you." This man who was passing him turned on him and said, "I could own you. I could own this pavement, this sidewalk. I could own this place. Who do you think you are? I don't need your money." And he took the $10 he'd been given and he screwed it up and he threw it back at the man, and it became almost confrontational, it seemed. So the supposed homeless guy, the YouTuber, took his clothing off and said, "Hold on, I'm a YouTuber and there's the camera." And then a lady came past. And so he did the same thing. He said, "Excuse me, can I give you $10? Can I spread goodness?" And the lady turned and she said, "No, no, no, it should be me giving to you." And he said, "Well, actually, I'm a YouTuber and you are showing goodness." That's what people wanted on VE Day when they talked of freedom and hope. They didn't want it to be about me, that man. They wanted it to be about that lady. They wanted it to be about us. We together can spread goodness if we choose to. And that for me is what the Christian faith is about, the goodness of God come in Christ. The Bible says Rejoice in hope, be patient in trouble, be constant in prayer. We're in that in-between time right now, a time to look to freedom and hope and goodness and find our part in it, shaped by God in shaping it. Now, that may be a struggle for us for all sorts of reasons, but it can be our future, this Remembrance Day, to think of that lady rather than that man, to think that we can bring change and be change leaders, rather than simply accept what is. And that struggle is worth it. The scientist Albert Einstein once said, freedom in any case is only possible by struggling for it. Well, after 6 years of struggle, in 1945, bonfires were lit. Prarsfield School could celebrate and look forward to the future. And how did they do that? Well, a former girl said this in 1945, Helen Weston: "We had great responsibilities in the making of a new and a better world." That's our call today, to struggle together to rebuild for a different future of freedom, hope and goodness, and stand together as we prepare to light bonfires in the future.